Hello, party people, and welcome to Lake Michigan. I'm standing in the town where I grew up in, Whitehall, Michigan, over on the west coast of Michigan, on one of the Great Lakes. And it's a lake, technically, it's an inland body of water, fresh water. But for most folks, it really feels like the sea because you can't see, no pun intended, the other side of the lake. So it feels pretty giant and endless. It's great for sailing. Fishing, not so great for swimming. It's a little bit on the cold side, even in the peak of the summer, but really nice place. Up here visiting my dad's side of the family, and it's always fun to revisit all of the places where I used to go hang out, party, things like that. So we'll do your top voted questions from PollGab. I'm actually having to do these from memory because I don't have an extra device with me. I just have the camera where I'm taking the video. So the top voted question is from My Tea Got Cold, who asks, why don't I ever hear you use create database snapshot when you're talking about letting reports and transactional activity coexist on the same server? Well, the problem is that in order to create a database snapshot, when you go create it, that actually incurs rights for every insert, update, or delete that's happening on the server, because SQL Server is making a copy of the old data for the snapshot. So snapshots still slow down inserts, updates, and deletes, and they're static. They're as of one moment in time. When you create the database snapshot, the queries are all hitting that exact one moment in time. So if you want to refresh it, you have to drop that snapshot and create a new one, or else you have to do some tricks around synonyms to have the same synonym point to different snapshots, but it's still going to require exclusive locking when you do it. So it's just not elegant. If you're okay with those limitations, the thing you should be considering instead is log shipping. Because with log shipping, you could say, if you're okay with having everyone look at one point in time, just only run the log shipping restore jobs, say once an hour, or even just once in the morning and once in the evening. And then everyone can coexist on a server with no overhead to the primary at all. All right, the next question is from, I can't remember the name of the person, but the next question is about what if you have a customer on SQL Server 2016 today, what version should they upgrade to, 2019 or 2022? The thing I always ask is, what's the problem that you're trying to solve? When you're going to that new version, what are the specific things that you're going to that version for? Don't look at some version's new list of features and go, oh, I would like that pony, I would like this other pony as well. What are the problems that you're trying to solve that new version is going to make better for you? If there are things in that new version that you genuinely need, then go to it. Otherwise, these days, I do a population report in SQL Constant Care, and about 50% of the SQL servers in the industry are running 2019. It's a good version, it's a stable version, and I don't have those warm feelings about 2022. There was another corruption bug came out this week where 2022 and only 2022 would experience database corruption if you inserted a -0 into a decimal or numeric column. I was like, I don't have the time for that. I want to be on a beach. So that's where I would go with that. And then let's see. Oh, there were 3 questions that I was going to hit, and I knew I was pushing myself to remember 3. What was the third one? I remember. So the next question was, are rollbacks always single-threaded? And here again, I'm going to ask, what's the problem that you're trying to solve? I can't guarantee that a certain behavior will always be a certain way when it's undocumented from Microsoft, and it could change at any given time. I haven't tested that under 2022, for example. In every prior version I've looked at, the rollbacks that I've seen have always been single-threaded. There is redo and undo work that SQL Server can do in a multi-threaded way, especially around like database startups. But if you're just asking in terms of being curious, open up a debugger and start attaching it to the SQL Server engine in order to find those things out. I certainly don't do that. There are people in the industry who do. Paul White is an excellent example out of New Zealand. When he's curious about something, he'll attach a debugger to SQL Server and see how it works. Me, if it's something that I can't control and I have no influence over and it doesn't really impact how I do tuning in any given way, I don't really dig any deeper into that because, again, there are just only so many hours in the day, and I want to spend time doing things where I can make an actual difference with folks. And it sounds goofy. Curiosity is great. I would normally encourage curiosity. It's wonderful. But curiosity means you finding things out. It doesn't mean, hey, buddy, tell me the answer. That's not what curiosity is. Curiosity drives you to run experience. But if all you're doing is asking other people for the answers, that's not curiosity, that's laziness. All right, I would go on longer, but I can't remember more than 3 questions. You saw it was even a struggle for me to remember 3. And when I switch apps, like if I switch over from my browser or from the camera over to the browser app, my iPhone stops recording. And I'm not really curious about why that is. I went into settings and I didn't see an obvious way to turn that off, and I'm going to go get some breakfast. So hopefully y'all learned something out of this office hours, and I will see you on the next one. Adios.